Here we go into the wild blue yonder. What we have is an airplane, and this is a document that you have in your exercise files, and it is processglobal.ai. Lone airplane flying through the sky. We need to change the fuselage color. So let's talk about process colors and the global option. Start by looking at my panel over here. You say, well, Andy, you don't have any colors in your swatches panel. What happened? Well, I took them all out. I mean, the only reason I did is to reduce the complexity. We want to focus on making a swatch and talk about something called global. We don't need distractions. I took them all out. But this begs a point about Adobe Illustrator that's really kind of important. Illustrator is a document-specific application. In other words, the document controls what you see. Now, I've got a brand new document open right here, just plain new. Look what happens over there. Everything gets populated. My symbols, my brushes, my swatches. That's because a brand new document will have all the default stuff in it. But every time I open this document up, this is all it's going to have. Now, that's a cool thing when you think about it, but it can also be frustrating if you don't remember that. Because you create a really neat color in one program, and you're thinking like Adobe Photoshop, that you get to keep it forever. No, you'd have to open up this document again to get it. Let's get back to our goal here. We want to change the color of the fuselage. So we need a color. One way to get that, we could come over to the spectrum right here. Let's choose a color. Just anything here. Something like that. Now I have it over here. How do I get it into here? There's actually several ways you can do this. The two most popular ways are drag it directly from over here and let go. That would be one way. I'm going to undo that. I would rather click the new button. Now the reason is because it automatically opens up the swatch dialog and lets me fix or change things. Number one, the swatch name represents the attribute of the color. It's got 36, 255, and 209 red, green, and blue. It is a process color. The global option is not selected. It is RGB, of course. Now we have all these other ones here if you want to use them. If I want to, I can change stuff down here, but I'm happy. But I will change the name to airplane color. Click OK. We need to change the colors of the fuselage. Now this is a grouped item. Now we talked about this in the previous chapter. I've got two options to do this, actually three. One would be to ungroup it, which I don't want to do. Another way would be to pick up my direct selection tool, but let's stay on the selection tool, double click. Now watch the background when I do this. It's gone into isolation mode. I'm isolating the aircraft. We see up here we're in that group. If I come back over here again and double click, I can now select different areas. Now that whole fuselage is underneath the red. So if I select it there and click here, we change that color. And let's do the wing too. That's kind of like one big area. And we change that. Double click out here. And well, there you go. You've changed the color. Let's say you're doing this for a client. Client comes back and says, well, I don't know. That's not the color I thought it was going to be. You need to change it. You say, well, okay. So you come back and double click the color right here. And let's say maybe we give it, I don't know, a little less into the green here. Darken it up some. And you say, okay, that's it. But notice it doesn't change anything. Now here's the problem. The problem is when we do this, it's just a process color. We have to go through the whole process of changing and selecting those areas all over again. So let's take our single airplane and pretend it's a fleet. And we just spent 15 minutes or so changing the colors of each one of them individually. And now we got to do it all over again? That's not what I want to do. So let's get rid of this color. If you click this button right here, it's going to ask you if you are sure. I don't want to answer another question that I know the answer to. So if you hold the Alt key down, when you click the button, it will just be happy to get rid of it. You could always undo that if you thought that was a mistake. Let's start again. Let's pick a color. This time we'll go a little bit deeper into the blues. Click the new button. Now again, we could modify it if we want to. We won't. Let's go into here and change that to airplane color. My names are so descriptive, aren't they? Come down here and select global. Now we won't change anything else, but click OK. Now you're going to notice a difference. there is a small little white dog ear right there on the edge. That indicates to you, without going back and looking at it, that it is indeed a global color. Now we're going to have to start again. So we're going to come into here, double click, go into isolation mode, select that area, and we'll go ahead and fill with that color. And we'll do the same thing to our wing. So we're kind of back to where we started, except we're using a different color. Let's go ahead and double click out here, get out of isolation mode. Client comes back again and says, Andy, I don't know what you're thinking, all right? But that's not the color either. It needs to be lighter. Remember, it's a global color. This is the beauty of global. Double click it. Let's turn the preview on. Come over here and start playing and watch what happens. Global colors are linked to the colors in the Illustrator object. Now, not between documents, just in this document. But if I make the color a global and I need to change it, I do it globally. So again, think of a fleet of airplanes that all had the same global color and you needed to change all of them, you could do it one time. I love the global option. On to the next.